People get ready. There's a train coming. You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. All you need is faith to keep the diesel humming. You don't need no baggage. You just thank the Lord. Good morning, everybody. Let me say it one more time. People get ready. There's a train coming. You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. All you need is faith to keep the diesel humming. You don't need no baggage. You just thank the Lord. Look up and tell him. Say, I believe. You believe today? Tell him I believe. Tell him. Say, I believe, Lord, I do believe. Look up and tell him, Lord, I believe. Oh, Lord, I believe. I believe, God, I do believe, yeah. Good morning, everybody. I believe this morning, and I believe that we check in with each other on a regular basis because we believe. We believe in what? We believe that Jesus Christ is the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, and the hope of glory. And we just want to encourage each other to keep believing what we already believe. Don't lose your faith, whatever you do. Don't lose your faith. Keep believing. We're going to talk for a few minutes this morning about the idea of how to run a profitable business. Good morning to you, Queen Jackie. Good morning to you, Ken. Good morning to you, Bishop Derek. Good morning to you, Chicago Extensions. I don't know what that means. Probably a beauty professional, probably. But good morning to you. And good morning to you, Trina. Good morning to you, Dr. Carter. God bless you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Good morning to you, Bishop Derek and Harold. Harold, I hope you got your link to come to the class this morning that you requested. Hope you got that. So let me make that announcement real quick for you all. We are having a class at the top of the hour today at 11 o'clock a.m. And if you haven't been invited, or if you didn't realize it, you have been invited, but if you didn't realize you were invited, then if you're on Instagram, just go to my DM and just put Money Fund in my DM, and you'll be invited to our International Monetary Fund class that we're going to be having today. We're having a class today at 11 o'clock, and we're going to be discussing how $385 quadrillion is available to everybody here in America. $385 quadrillion is available to us, and we're not even aware of it. I'm amazed at the things that's going on in life, and we can live to be 60 years old like me, 61 years old, and nobody ever tell us what's going on. Well, it kind of leads into what I'm about to talk about today, and that's the idea of how to run a profitable business. So if you don't have that, if you're not on Instagram and you just want to come, just send us an email at info@stellarwealthmanagement.com. You know, when I tell people that, they say, I get it, Rick. I'm like, I'm about to teach you about $385 quadrillion. You know, when I come on here and start talking, that you should have an ink pen out because I'm a teacher. So when I come on and start talking, you should never be listening to any of us that are teachers talk and you don't have a pen out and a piece of paper. You should always have that out, unless you know, in transit, driving or something like that. But it's nowhere in the world I would listen to a person talk for an hour without taking notes. No way. I mean, you can't remember that stuff. And when they say something, I'd be like, right on it. I'll be writing down exactly what they said. I know because some of y'all be sending me messages, asking me things. I'm like, I already told you how to do that. I already told you exactly how to get in touch, exactly what to do when I was talking. But we aren't trained to be millionaires. We don't listen slow. We listen fast. In other words, we're listening to somebody, but we're hearing what's going on in our world while we're listening to the person. And that's a tragedy because that means that we waste the time of being able to execute whatever the person was talking about because we wasn't really listening to them. I know what I'm talking about. I demand. That's why when I'm talking one-on-one with people, I demand their attention. I'm like, you will not waste my time. Okay? If you're not listening to me, then just say you ain't interested. All right? So I can go ahead on and do something else with my time. I want to enjoy my life. Don't you? I don't like being involved with nonchalant people. I'm like, that's an abomination. Are you hearing me? Nonchalantness is an abomination. It's where all the busters live and all the underachievers live. They live in a world of nonchalantness. They just so cool and laid back and casual about things. I'm like, there's a very big difference between being a smooth, cool operator and being a casual bum. It's a big difference. Casual people casual people are not, they do not have God's favor. Are you hearing me? Why? Because you cannot trust a casual person because they're not paying attention to you. And if they're not paying attention to you, even though they don't mean you harm, they will do you harm. Why? Because a person that's not alert will do you harm. I don't care whether they mean it or not. Casual people are not intentionally vicious. Casual people have just drunk off the world because the world is full of casual people. That's why God said, don't love the world, neither the things that are in the world. Because all that's in the world is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. The world is into what? Themselves. The world is not conscious of what's going on around them. That's why the world is going to hell, because they're not conscious about what's going on around them. Jesus, like, how dare you watch me come into the world and teach you how to treat each other, and then you walk around here in la la land. Like what? Like you ain't got no responsibilities. Like what? Like it's just all right, just to be all half casual with each other. Jesus Christ, who came in and taught us how to pay close attention to each other and how to be what 100% all in the relationships that we're in, and not casual and not mistreating each other. And so casual behavior is mistreatment of another human being. And I don't accept it from people. I just called downstairs, asked a young lady, I said, can you extend my room? You know, because my plane ain't leaving out to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I have some people to train this morning, and I like an extension to it. And she said, I'll give it to you to 1 o'clock. I said, I need more like about 1:30. She said, well, I can't do that. I said, yes, you can. She said, excuse me? I said, yes, you can do it. It's a matter of judgment. I said, is your manager down there? She said, I'm a Hilton Rewards member. Y'all make more money than law allowed with us flying around using your Hilton hotels. I said, so I need to check out late. Do somebody else's room before you do mine. I said, is your manager down there? She said, no, he isn't here. They're not here. I said, okay, well, who else can I speak to? Or just call them and say, in this room, Brother Ricky we want to stay a little later. I said, you have to use judgment when you're dealing with people there. I said, most people are not going to demand what I'm asking for, so you just brush them off, they're going to G for it, but I'm not one of those people. Why? Because I don't treat people like that. I use judgment when it comes down to dealing with people. And if you're somebody that pays me a lot of money, you're going to get more props than somebody else. Why? Because you deserve it, because you paid more money, because you're more faithful, you take care of your business. That's right. Just like a parent. You the kid that take care of the business the most, you the kid that's going to get the props. The other kid, hardly ever show up and all this stuff. A parent with some sense. Now you got some parents who chase their little bad kids around and ignore their good kids. Now that's a bad parent though. Why? Because the good kid right there handling all their business, and you steady trying to negotiate with the little spoiled little rotten brat, who always demanding things that don't appreciate nothing. That's bad parenting. Pay attention to that person that's in front of you, that's paying attention to you, and give them the lion's share of your attention. When I just took all my kids to Hawaii, I told them, you're not getting my money. You're not getting this family money if you don't do these things. And it's okay with me. I ain't gonna lose no sleep. If you let me die rich and you go ahead on being broke, that's your business. All right. I say, but you kids that do the things I'm telling you to do, then you'll have the money. Okay. And you're going to start doing these things right now too. And if you don't do them right now, you're not going to get the money. And it's just that simple. I'm not going to lose a wink of sleep. I'm going to go back to snoring. Why? Because I worked hard to make all this money. And if you don't want to work hard, you ain't going to get nothing. If you don't want to be diligent, you ain't going to get nothing. If you don't want to be disciplined, you ain't going to get nothing. If you don't want to love and be thinking about more than yourself, you ain't going to get none. If you want to just call me when you think you want something, you ain't going to get none. Why? Because you are indifferent. And if you're indifferent, I still love you, but I ain't going to be bothered with you. Okay? That's the way you better train these kids. Why? Because y'all got some indifferent kids running around, but they watch our indifferent behavior and then they get the same attitude. But I don't accept that with people. Either you're in or you're out. Either you're down or you ain't. And it's okay either way, but you're going to be one or the other. You hear what I'm saying? So when I'm talking, it ain't paying out, and take advantage of the training. You don't know how long Brother Ricky gonna be able to talk every day. My throat and stuff be hurting, so I'm thinking about pulling back a little bit and not being just doing free classes all the time. These are multi-million-dollar classes when I'm talking. It ain't paying out. Sit down and write down what's going on, and you'll learn how I went from $50 to being a multi-millionaire, and anybody can do it. All right. So today we're gonna be talking about, one more time, if you want to come to class, go to info@stellarwealthmanagement.com and send a request. If you're on Instagram, just DM me Money Fund, and I'm going to teach about this $350 quadrillion is available to all of us. I'm going to show you where the fund came from. I'm going to teach you how you get your fair share of it, what you need to do. and I'm going to give you instructions. Okay. All right. So today let's talk about what it means to have a profitable business. First of all, to have a profitable business, you need to have profits in your life. You say, what do you mean by that, Ricky? Everything that we do is based on observation, and then it's based on observing things and then absorbing things. Everything that we do, every human being, that's the way that they learn. You observe something and then you absorb it. So if you want to have some money, if you want to have a business that's profitable, then it has to start in your head. And then you create these ideas in your brain and then you put them on paper and then they come into fruition. That's how businesses are run. That's how millions are made. That's how kingdoms are built. That's how dynasties are built. You see it first in your head, then you put it on paper, then you execute it. So what's very important is what the business that's going on inside of your head and my head. Our head, look at it this way and write this down. Your brain is a business. Are you listening to me? Your brain is a business. If you are making money, it's because your brain is profitable. If you're not making money, it's because your brain is unprofitable. So the question becomes, what's in your brain and what's in my brain? Profits or what? Non-profits. All right. So you have profits in your brain, big profits in your brain when you have big profits around you. Now you hear what I'm saying? I'm talking about the people around you. When you have profits around you, then you have profits in your business. Why? Because your business, your brain is your business. And your money and all, that's just a manifestation of what's going on inside of your brain. So you have to expose yourself to who? Profits, people who do who what? Who know how to give you ideas and strategies. And then you go out and you practice those ideas and those strategies. And then you have monetary profits. But the profits start at first in your brain. Do you have a profitable brain? All right, that's the question. So that means that you have to get out of your brain everything that doesn't what? Profit you. If it's not profitable, it's gotta go. Throw it overboard, just like if you was on a ship sailing someplace and you had a whole bunch of stuff on your ship. And you're like, man, the only thing we selling out of here with is the gold. So every time you find some fake gold and make your neck turn green, throw that crap over the side of the board, overboard. Like, you know what? That ain't no gold. That's some fake gold. That make my neck green. So how do you know the difference between real gold and fake gold? Because real gold has what? Weight to it. Are you hear what I'm saying? Fake gold ain't got no weight to it. Real gold got some weight to it. Are you dig what I'm saying? Fake gold ain't got nothing to turn your neck green. So when people come around you, you only want to let people into your brain or your business, all right, who what? Have some real gold. Are you dig what I'm saying? So don't let nobody bring no fake gold around because that's what's going to be in your brain. So if your bank account right now is a fake bank account, it's because the things that's in your brain are fake things. Because the things that are in your brain, they materialize and translate over to your physical uh, material profits. Your material profits are based on the what's going on that's profitable in your brain. So if you got some money, it's because you're profitable on the inside, and then it just what manifests itself on the outside. So let me give you some examples of what I mean. So you have you take like the prophet uh, Elisha, the prophet Elisha. So Elisha, he meets this lady, and she broke. This is in the second. This is in Second Kings chapter 4. So I mean, she real broke. She's so broke until she a widow, her husband dead, and the state coming, the DCFS coming to get her kids. All right, they're about to come and confiscate her kids and say, "You're gonna pay us with your kids because you so broke." Until your kids gonna have to work in the stead of your husband, because that's the way it was back in the Bible days, just like sharecropping. So they coming for her kids. So she needs to have a profit in her life so she can become what? Profitable. So she looks up Elisha. She's like, man, Elisha the prophet, he used to kick it with my husband. Let me holler at him. All right. So she said, hey, Elisha. She said, dig this. I'm in big trouble. All right. They come to state coming to get my kids. You know my husband. He just passed away. He was one of your students. All right. She said, so I'm trying to become profitable because right now I can't put cheese on a waffle. Right now I'm in big trouble. I mean, I can't pay my regular bills and they coming to get my kids. It's trouble in Gotham. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You know? So Elisha said, okay, what you want me to do for you? She's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get some advice. What? From who? From a prophet, because I'm trying to become profitable. Are you digging what I'm saying? So the beautiful thing about hanging out with prophets is that a prophet is always going to give you what? Advice that comes from straight from God. That's why you have to hang out with prophets. Are you digging what I'm saying? You say, well, what do you mean prophets, Ricky? Are you talking about yourself? Yeah, I'm a prophet. What? Because I can tell you what the Bible said about principles. And then if you go do them, you're gonna make a lot of money. All right. Or you can just ignore what I tell you and just stay like yeah. All right. Because why? Because the principles that I practice are extremely profitable. That's how I went from being broke to making almost $5 million in a year. All right. Why? Because I follow profitable principles. That's why I wrote this book. Uh, this book is called Unmovable, Unstoppable, Unshakable. Unmovable, unstoppable, unshakable. Bible principles that guarantee you financial success. So my success is guaranteed, and yours could be too. What if you practice the principles that produces profits? That's all I do. I just practice principles that produce profits, and then I hang out around prophets who practice principles that produce profits, so I can get better ideas from the prophets that I hang out around, and then we can do what? All profit together and prosper together and posture together. We go beyond prospering to posturing, meaning that we have eternal money. See, I'm not here for no little temporary money, and you aren't either, because you're not a temporary person. Why would you come here as an eternal being and then start behaving as a temporary person? Are you listening to what I'm telling you? This is how, once you change what's going on in your brain, change what's going on in your brain, because your brain is your business. Are you listening to me? And don't let nothing in your business that's not profitable. Don't let nothing in your brain that's not profitable. If it doesn't serve you, then don't do it. All right. Oh, by the way, a young lady called me back a little few minutes ago after I told her, I said, I'm gonna need to talk to somebody because I travel in y'all hotels all the time. And that's not acceptable that you're telling me I got to rush out of here. I said, so, okay. So you enjoy the rest of your morning. She called me back in a few minutes. She said, sir, we can do 1:30. You see what I mean? People telling you what they can't do, they can do it. All right. They're just telling you that because, see, I have a very profitable mind. So because I'm used to treating people right, I'm used to being treated right. So if you try to mistreat me, man, you're going to have some trouble. Why? Because I have a very profitable brain. It's very progressive. All right. Why? Because I don't accept stuff in my head that's not profitable. And it's not profitable for me to be rushing up out of here after I get through training y'all. I need enough time to do what I got to do. And I deserve it because I pay these people a lot of money. They ain't doing me no favors. All right. They're not, when people treat you right, they're not doing you a favor. Right. And don't make them think that they're doing you a favor. Let them know that that's my expectation. What? Why? Because I go overboard to help people. I expect you to do the same thing for me. That's my expectation. This is business. Okay. And in business, you make sure that you take care of the people who are taking care of their business. I'm a blessing to be with your company. Low maintenance. All right. High performance. How you dig what I'm saying? How about you? See, when you're profitable, you are low maintenance and high performance. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You are low maintenance and high performance. People love to see you come and hate to see you go. Why? Because you're always bringing ideas and you ain't never bringing no foolishness. Are you digging what I'm saying? And when they hang out around you, their brain expands and their capacity expands and they're able to do things that they weren't able to do just because of your presence. Is that true about you? When you walk into a room, does a room profit from your presence? Are you hearing what I'm saying? So Elisha is talking to this to this woman, and when he walks into the room, what? Profitability walks in. Why? Because he's a prophet. He's a prophet that's about to help her do what? Profit. So he walks in and he starts giving her amazing ideas. All right. So he said, okay, what you got in the house? She said, I ain't got nothing but a pot of oil. He said, oh, make sure I keep up with the times. He said, she said, I don't have nothing in the pot. You all can watch this for you, read this for yourself. 2 Kings chapter 4. All right. So she said, I ain't got nothing in the crib but a pot of oil. He said, all right, well, let's work with that. All right. Because a prophet can always see what you can't see. So that's the beautiful thing about hanging out with people who are profitable. That's how they got the money they got before they even met you. See, this man is already rich before he meets her. He said, Elisha, I don't remember him having a whole bunch of houses and land. He didn't need no houses and land and stuff like that. He was rich in wisdom, rich in understanding, rich in knowledge. I mean, he's a bad man. Elisha was such a bad man until when he died, when he was dead, they took a man that had died and just threw him in a grave where Elisha's bones was, and the man came back to life. Now that's rich. If you rich enough where your dead bones can bring somebody back to life, you as rich as a human being could possibly be. You can't get no richer than that to bring a person back to life. Are you dig what I'm saying? So Elisha was a very rich person. He just wasn't seeking after material stuff because back in the day it wasn't even necessary. Dig what I'm saying? He can just be in one part of the world and hang up in another, end up in another part of the world like Star Trek. You dig what I'm saying? So he was a bad man. So when you're talking to a prophet, God don't introduce you to prophets for you to keep doing what you was doing when you was unprofitable. Like, you dig what I'm saying? You meet prophets so that you can become profitable. And we all need prophets in our life. What I'm talking about, I'm talking people who know how to convey the principles of the Bible to us so that we can make money. Now, you hear what I'm saying? We need financial prophets in our life, people who can explain to us this is what the word is saying. Okay, so if you do this, you'll be amazingly profitable. Are you dig what I'm saying? So he told the woman, this is what the word of God is telling you to do. All right. So go in the crib and get that one pot of oil you got. All right. So she don't see the pot of oil as being anything that's really big because why? Because she can't see the pot of oil the way that Elisha can see the pot of oil. It's impossible. She can't see it. Why? Because she's in a state of unprofitability. And for you to come out of unprofitability into profitability, you're going to have to start using what you currently have in a different kind of way. First of all, you got to recognize that what you currently have is all you need. I have a friend who has a ministry called Use What You Got Ministries. Her name is Cecilia Whitfield. She just sent me a message this morning. She asked me would I speak at her banquet in uh, in April. And I said, I'd be glad to. And I said, you don't have to pay me any money either, Cecilia. So she said, you know why? Because when I got out the penitentiary, when I came to Indiana, and all I had was $50 in a hotel room, she was at this job fair that the parole officer told me I had to go to. He said, you have to go to this job fair. Make sure you get you a job. I said, all right, cool, whatever you say. Yeah, I wasn't going to argue with him. Why? Because it would be what? Unprofitable. All right. So I wasn't going to argue with him. Plus, I did need a job at the time. So she was standing behind the counter talking about her ministry that she had. And I was like, how you doing? She said, my name is Cecilia. We became instant friends. This is in 2009. All right. So we became instant friends. Now I'm homeless. I ain't got no place to live and living in a hotel when I met Cecilia. So anything that she wants from me, I'll be glad to do it because she's a superstar of a human being. And she gave me a lot of encouragement when I first met her. So she asked me, what was I doing? I said, well, I'm looking for a job. I got $50. I don't really know anybody here in Indiana and all of that. We became instant friends. And I said, what do you do, man? She said, I have a ministry called Use What You Got. I'm like, oh, what's that? She said, I help people. I take people on buses to go see their loved ones in a penitentiary who wouldn't have had no other way of being able to go see them. And I've been doing this for some years now. I said, wow, that's wonderful. She said, I got the name of my company. I said, I don't know. She said, my mother told me because I told my mother, hey, I want to help people go see their incarcerated loved ones. She says, so I don't know how to do it, mama. And the mother said, why don't you just use what you got? She said, oh, so you all can look it up. Use What You Got Ministries. If you ever want to bless somebody and send them something and bless their business and all that sort of thing, then Cecilia is a great person to look up. She lives in Indianapolis, Indiana. She's a good friend of mine. So we've been friends a long time now. So, but my point though was that Use What You Got is a great name for all of our businesses. All of our businesses the subtitle should be Use What You Got because all you can use is what you got. So I'm amazed at people who have something to use, but they won't use it. But it's because what? They're not around a prophet. So they don't understand that they already have inside of them what they need to have to become profitable. And you do too. You have everything, you already have not everything but you already have something to work with currently right now that will help you become profitable. You just need to be around people who can help you see it. Now, you hear what I'm saying? That's why people who are reluctant to have teachers and coaches are people who don't want to have any money. I'm like, you are fighting your profits. Your profits will never materialize because you don't know where they are. Okay? You say, I'm smart. I got enough sense and all that sort of thing. Are you a millionaire? Do you have at least $1 million? Have you ever seen, smelled, and it got close to one little measly little $1 million? All right. Well, if you haven't, then stop being delusional and stop saying things about yourself that are not true. Just be honest and be like, you know what? No, brother Ricky, I haven't made them. If that's the case, if you have, wonderful, God bless you. But I'm saying that if that's the case, and if that's where you want to go, if you want to be profitable, because a business that's not making at least $1 million a year, it's a little poo bud business. All right. You need to be working your way up and having some real money. They don't even consider your stuff. I mean, people consider like $100,000 a year business, like where you starting to get on a Richter scale. But what I'm saying is that's not generational money. It's a good start. All right. It's a good start. Ain't nothing to sneeze at. But whatever it is that wherever you are right now, the idea should be, you know what? How do I become more profitable than I currently am? What kind of game plan do I need? And who do I need to be around so that I can see clearly what I need to be doing next because I'm on a murky road. I don't know what to do. I'm looking, but I'm hitting and missing, and I'm kind of guessing about what direction to take. Well, that's unnecessary. Why? Because it's unbiblical to be trying to do that stuff by yourself. Because the Bible says, in a multitude of counselors, there's safety. You say, Brother Ricky, that's a great presentation you're doing today to try to get somebody to buy your stuff. I'm not trying to get you to buy anything. Why? Because I don't even need no clients. I can make my money just off of my tax refunds. So my point that I'm talking to you about is that it's just a fact that you need to do what? You need to be around somebody who can see what you can't see because you have blind spots, and they can give you some profitable advice because they already profitable. All right. One of the prophets that I have in my life is the great Myron Golden. He's a prophet. What I mean, he knows how to convey the word of God in a way to teach you how to be profitable. That's what I mean. He's a financial prophet. All right. So I take his advice because he has good advice. He sees things that I don't see. We were just talking, yesterday, day before, about my YouTube channel. And he brought out 2 or 3 things right away while we was talking about it and how different things you should do. Now, should I listen to him? I think so. All right. Should I listen to him? I made $4 or $5 million last year. He made $18 million. All right. So should I listen to him? Put a one in the chat if you think I should listen to Myron. Put a one in the chat. Just come on, talk to me. Talk. If I want to make more money than I made this year, should I listen to somebody who made 5 times the amount of money I made almost? All right. So do y'all want to be profitable? Come on, talk to me now. Come on, because I need to know if I'm just if I'm just whistling Dixie out here, if I'm just wasting my time. Do you want to be profitable? If you want to be profitable, do you agree that I should talk and get my advice from somebody who's much more profitable than I am? What do you think? What do you think? Do you think I should be acting like I done arrived now and go ahead on and act like, be happy with that little cheddar and cheese my way? Or what should I do? All right. See, this is a problem with human beings. I'm like, do you want to be profitable? They're like, yeah. I'm like, well, who's the prophet in your life? Like, well, I don't have no prophet in my life. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, who can teach you what you don't know? That's what I'm asking you. All right. Who knows what you don't know? That's what I'm asking you. I'm like, and are you absorbing from them what it is that they know? That's what I'm asking you. Okay, are you digging what I'm saying? Be in Chicago a little later on the day, you are. Appreciate that. So I gotta come sing at a funeral. That's what I'm coming down there. So pray for my friends. I got a friend named Robin. Pray for her. Okay, she's a beautiful person, and her mother passed away. My mother's name is Pat, and we was all real good friends growing up. So pray for Robin and Pat, and pray for me, so I have enough voice to be able to sing 3 songs because I already feel like Barry White up in this piece. All right. So here's the idea, and the idea is this: in order for your business to be profitable, your brain has to be profitable. In order for your brain to be profitable, it has to observe profitability. Because when you observe a different person's behavior that's different from yours, and that's like at levels that's much higher than you are, when you observe that, it does something to your brain because you're like, man, that's possible. You're like, wow, I'm looking right at him. I mean, that's possible. Let's take Myron again, my buddy, my friend Myron. And last year, so he's been training us for about 3 years. It's going on. It's his 3rd year, I think, that he's training us. I believe so. So, and I always give him his props. I believe you should get a person their props who did what, who helped you to become profitable. The prophet that helped you become profitable, I believe you should give them their props until the day you drop dead. That's what I believe. All right. And that's another problem with us. That's another problem with human beings. We hate to give a person their props. Why? We think it takes away something from us. Like what? Don't be doing all that. Why are you smoothing all up to people? It's not smoothing up. All right. It's called what? Gratitude. That's what it's called. Okay. And it sounded to me just like common sense that you would give praise and adoration to the person who helped you or the people who helped you to be able to become profitable when you were not profitable prior to that. Yes, Myron has a great book called False Moves. I highly recommend it. A real great book. In fact, we're doing a book together this year that we're co-authoring together this year. We'll tell you more about that later. So, so this woman is talking to Elisha, and Elisha is giving her good advice. So he tells her, he said, what do you have in the house? She said, I ain't got nothing but a pot of oil. He said, okay, cool. We can use that. Why? Because listen, nobody can use what you don't already have. See, some people are sitting around and they are waiting for something to come into their life and they're not using what they already have. And I'm like, you will never be profitable until you start using what you have. You just have to see it differently. That's why you have to be around people who do what? If they had the same thing you had, they would work that number. So they bring encouragement to you and motivation and inspiration to you just merely by the way that they behave, I guess, and what they do. They're not thinking negative, they're thinking positive. They're not thinking cowardly, they're thinking with courage. They're not thinking apprehensively. They are aggressive. Why? Because you have to be aggressive to be profitable. Nobody is profitable who is not what a risk taker. Nobody is profitable who what don't believe is worth the effort that you put in to create your profits. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Your brain is your bank. Your brain is your business. Everything that comes into your brain got to be guarded. So that's why I guard who I'm around, because I'm like, this is a business up here, you know? So if a person is negative or scary or don't have no ideas, I don't entertain them. Why? Because I'm like, I'll be out of business. Are you hear what I'm saying? Put it this way, your brain is like a business, okay? And when you let people into your brain who don't have a business acumen and don't have the spirit of the living God inside of them that creates abundance and that creates joy and peace and that creates clarity and competence. When you allow people in your brain who don't think that way, you basically just open up your business for people to come in and rob you. Now you hear what I'm saying? Because your brain is a business. Are you listening to me? It's just like you just said, hey, listen, I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna open up right here. I am open for robbery. Okay. Anybody want to come in and stick me up? And why? Because people see it. Because they see that you accept their advice. You know, it's and the biggest problem with this is the reason that people have this problem is because people don't understand that the whole point of money is to circulate it. So since people don't understand that, they won't spend money or invest money in their brain because they're like, I can't afford to lose that money. So that spirit opens up a person to thieves. Why? Because when you won't spend no money to get your brain in the right places around the right people, when you won't do that, then thieves come in. Why? Because all the thieves come into a cheap minded brain. Only thieves can break in. I mean, that's the only kind of brain that a thief can break into. Why? Because when your brain is fortified by knowing this, see, this is the fortify, write this down. This is the fortification of your brain, which is your business. This is how you fortify your brain. All right. Get used to, without much thought, spent circulating money on your for your brain's expansion. Okay? Circulate money for your brain's expansion. Your brain needs to have more capability than it has now to be profitable. Why? Because if your brain was capable of profits right now, you would be experiencing them. If you're not experiencing profits, $1 million profits, then that's because your brain isn't capable of it. So how does your brain become capable of it? Because you let the profits in who create the profits. Are you dig what I'm saying? So if you don't let the profits in, see, your brain is not neutral. So if you don't let the profits around, I'm talking about the people who got more capability than you currently have, who execute at a level that you're not currently executing at. If you don't allow the profits into your brain, then what's going to be? See, the brain is not neutral. So one, every time you don't do one thing, you're doing the opposite of it. So it's just like when a person says, well, I'm just not going to do nothing right now. I said, well, you are going to do something right now. The fact that you ain't doing nothing is the something that you're doing. All right. Because you're saying no. They say, well, I'm just saying no right now. So that means that you're saying yes right now to something else. And it's okay. It's all right. You just need to be aware of the fact that there is no neutrality, because I don't care what people do. All right. I care about people, but I don't care about what nobody does. Why? Because that's too much of my brain's capacity that ought to be making money and should be paying attention to profits. I can't pay attention to another person's brain and get all wrapped up in what's going on in their brain, because everybody does what they want to do. And everybody does only what they want to do. Nobody does what you want them to do. They do what they want to do. And that's okay. That's the way it is. God doesn't even do that. God doesn't even invade the brain and make you do what he wants. He don't even have that attitude. Why? Because he can't get no glory out of that. If he had to invade our brain and make us do something, then he wouldn't get no glory out of that, because it'd be a forced affair and it wouldn't be a love affair. You know, you feel that way about whoever you're in love with. If they don't want to do something for you because they want to do it, you resent it. You don't even like it. If somebody does, you know that. If somebody does something for you, even if it's nice, but you can see that they grit in their teeth and that they really don't like doing it, that's demoralizing. You don't like that. Am I telling the truth? If you ever had somebody do something for you, but you know that that they didn't want to do it. If it made you feel demoralized, put a 1 in the chat. All right. I just want to see if you, I want to see if you get, because if that's what it does to God. You know, God is how God feel. God feel. He's like, man, yes, I would never force you to do nothing, because if you're doing it, you ain't doing it for the right reasons. You know, you don't really love me, so I'm not feeling you. You know, I see what you did, but I can see that you trying to do that kind of like as just to have it on a record or something like that. What a boring way to live. Are you hearing what I'm saying? What a boring way to live. When you do something for somebody, do it because you wanted to do it. You know, and make them feel good about it. I feel you feel good when somebody do something for you and ain't no game behind it. You know, ain't no ulterior motives. You know, they just really genuinely love you. That's a great feeling. Are you hearing me? And you get energy from that. So I got to get out of here because we got to get to class. And so this is an hour-long class that I'm only have a half an hour to be able to teach you. So let's wrap it up again. One more time. Your brain is a business. Guard your business the way you would guard Fort Knox. What's more important, the gold in Fort Knox or your brain? What's more important, the gold in Fort Knox or your precious mind? What's more important? Guard it with your life, okay? The way that you guard it is because you have to have profits in your life. You say, why? Because you were born to be profitable. Are you listening to me? God said, be fruitful and multiply. Have dominion over the earth and subdue it. The very first commandment he ever gave us as human beings. Meaning, my expectation of you is to have profits in your life, to have increase in your life, to have abundance in your life, and to have more than what you need in your life so that you can give away and bless a whole bunch of other folks outside of you and your household. That's always been the will of God for everybody. Why? Because he gave the commandment to every human being. Be fruitful and multiply. That's not a commandment for one person and the different commandment for another person. God is not about lack for nobody. Are you hearing me? It's not he has no respect to persons. He said, I'm not a man that I should lie, or the son of man that I should repent. When I say something, I'm able to make it good because why? Because I already did it before I said it anyway. It's already been made good before you ever heard it. All right? Because I did things before they reached your ears. Because you live in time, God lives in eternity. So when God says something, he already did it. It just reaches our ears, and then we all, wow, did you hear what God just said? Now, God said that a long time ago. You just heard it. All right. Now, you dig what I'm saying? That's just the way it is because God is supernatural. And if you can ever get a real grasp of God, it would change what you let accept in your brain. And then you would guard your brain differently. Man, I got to get out of here. You would guard your brain differently because you would guard your brain differently because you realize how precious it is. Y'all know I wish I had an hour to teach y'all this, but we gotta go. So if you all are, hey Steve, how you doing, bro? If that's my friend Steve, I don't know, that's my buddy. So right now I'm going to switch over and I'm about to teach you all about the International Monetary Fund, but you got to come over to my free class if you like to hear that. So let me explain it to you one more time. If you're on Instagram and you want to come over to the free class, we're going to do it right now. So if you want to come over to the class, then all you have to do is put money fund in my DM if you're on Instagram. If you're here on other outlets, write this down fast. I'm going to go now. info@stellarwealthmanagement.com. info@stellarwealthmanagement.com. Send a message there and we'll send you the link right now. Okay. God bless you. I love you all. Have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. It's been a plum, please, and pleasure, as well as a privilege. I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about that. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. I see some of you all in class right now. Not here in my DM. DM me money fund. Not in the comment section. Go to my direct messages and put money fund. Okay. Love you all. I'll see you soon.